Hello. Hello there, everyone. It's been a while. Have you ever felt like two different people? I don't know. Have you ever felt like two different people? Two different people in your life? You know, the positive one and then the negative one. And the ambitious one, and the lazy one, and the, I don't know, the good one, and then the bad one, and then all of that, stuff like that. I've been back from working a lot and traveling a lot, traveling a lot. And, yeah. More the desire to get real with, just get real and recognize that this battle of the good one and the bad one in the head it's like very interesting to see. What used to motivate me before is collapsing and everything is being questioned, but everything has been questioned because I'm like, I don't know. You know, I think that I let go of a lot of things in my head, which is so beautiful and beautiful to recognize. And but other things, you know, are much stronger. You know, much stronger of being the bad one or the negative one. And sometimes my mind doesn't even want to talk about it because it's so impermanent that it doesn't, that I'm so much more curious about my existence. Like, it's so different than say it was a few years ago, I guess. I can't put a timeline on it or something, about discovering the fact that I do not need to suffer. And you know, it's quite universal because I meet and I talk to a lot of people growing spiritually, and it's even past spirituality, and how the ego can attach itself also to this growing. And I think that's probably why I don't really know. I don't know anything. I really it's like the ego wants to know, but I can't know anything. I don't know anything of what, like, you or thinking or me or is thinking, because it changes at times, and sometimes I feel incredibly, I think more often than not, free and brave and just being me. And circumstance can change that in an instant, and like I can feel really vulnerable. Yesterday I was in a really pissy mood, and I got into that, and I smoked some pot at the end of the day. I smoke pot, so part of it, I share that because the idea about being good and being perfect is something that I have been so, I don't know, it has been such a part of that is like, it makes me sick to think. And these are just thoughts that are just appearing and randomly popping up in my head. So the idea about being good is not what I'm about anymore. And what does that mean? Is like the positive and negative. All these stuff arises and falls. It's really interesting. Everywhere I go, whatever I'm doing, I don't know. And I think that's one of the reasons I stopped sharing, because my mind was like, you're so needy. Well, maybe that is part of, yeah, I think that's real. And I do have a needy side. I don't want to have a needy side, but I guess I guess it does. If you're a performer, and you're a teacher and you like, well, I think all of us are the same. It doesn't matter what occupation you have. It doesn't matter. Judgments that rise and fall, and yeah, I guess I lost my thought because that's also real. But I'm feeling really good. I am, and I can be really so annoyed when people think that I'm tired or that I need to do this, and that's just, isn't that interesting? That is annoyance is arising in my head. Annoyance arises in my head, Um, because thoughts are so irrational and so random, and it's like something that I've come up on. Any thoughts of grandeur, thoughts about yourself, and then the saboteur thoughts about, they're so equal in random, especially when you're aware. What I realize when I'm aware of these thoughts, they pop up so much more often when I'm aware, because I'm aware 24/7. I can really say that. I can really say that because it's like meditation. Meditation is watching your thoughts, not being on automatic, not responding. And I think there's nothing more to really share about to share, because I mean, for me it's like you know, people or we or I share very profound things, you know. And my thoughts about, is he needy, does he need to do that? I enjoy doing that. I enjoy very much to do that, and that's all good. At the end of the day, it's all good because I choose how I think about it. And at the same time, it's like, why am I sharing? I started asking myself. So I thought I'd take a break from it, as you all have known, the people who watch me. And I do have a relationship to beautiful friends that I have made sharing my talks, that I have made that have lasted, or that last, because there's no kind of requirement. I think there's no kind of requirement, and I thought, hey, those people who are relying, or apparently, I don't know, are listening to my talks every day, or my sharings, everything, they get dependent on me. They're dependent on me, and I make myself big, you know, like it can, and that's why I wanted to take a break. I can make myself big and feel big, like I'm important to them. And I don't want to be important to you, and that sounds a little contradictory, and I don't want to be important to myself, and that also sounds contradictory to everything that I've learned. But it's the most beautiful beautiful thing to recognize, because there is these things that rise and fall, and thoughts that rise and fall, and circumstance, and victimhood, and the successful one, and the it's all of this play. So I'm so suspicious, I think. So yeah, I just feel like just turning this camera on and just talking to you, and just recognizing it all and accepting all of it. You know, sometimes I feel so stupid, and so vulnerable, and like I'm not good enough, I'm not doing the right thing, you know, all this kind of thing. Oh wow, it just rises, right? And if you're listening and you have any of these thoughts, I'm just saying the truth, that the truth will set you free, and I feel much more free when I'm just tapping into the moment and recognizing it all and letting it go. I think it's a beautiful time, a beautiful day. And who knows? I think routine is death. I think maybe that's what I thought about my sharings. They become a routine, and so I let go. So who knows if I will share or not. So I guess that has to remains to be seen. But I don't, you know, I just turn on the camera and I don't plan what I'm saying. And I used to do that because I thought, you know, or in the beginning, like, or just talk about, like, what am I get? How am I going to get them? And when you recognize, you know, as a thought, I'll let you go in just a second, because, you know, like, we're not even aware sometimes. This is as a creative person, and just as a person, like, we all can relate to the thoughts, or if you're conscious of your thoughts, of like, what am I going to get from them? How can I be conscious of how I react, or how I do things without the need to be approved of by them. And this is when you bring it to the forefront. It's like, it's in a lot of things in your life, and that's why I think that life is kind of a joke in a way, in the most loving sense. So I can say that. But I think when we ask ourselves, am I doing this to get the need or the approval of others? And when the answer of that becomes yes, that's okay, right? Of course, everything is okay. It's okay, and there's no victimhood, and there's this, I guess, sometimes the needy one, and then sometimes not. So I think all thoughts are irrational and impermanent And I say it over and over because those things keep coming up. They come up. And I feel, I don't know, sometimes I feel very advanced in my thinking. And at other times I feel like it's really stupid the way I'm thinking. So, but nothing, what is always aware of that is the awareness that is behind all of that projection and contrast. And I can do that. I can do that. I can do that for myself, and I can do that. And I'm sharing that today. So I hope you had a nice Easter. And to keep carrying on and rising above and just being you with all of the spectrum of emotions that rise and fall, and not attaching yourself, and get into it, get into the experience and the journey of life that is so beautifully loving and scary and horrible at the same time, but you're not any of these things. And at least I know that I'm not any of these things, and sometimes I respond or react with what my head is saying. So yeah, I let you go. I love you so much. Thank you for watching this, and I've missed you, many of you who watch my talks, and keeping it real, keeping it love, being kind is always my motivation. Being kind and being respectful, and not having to have the answer. I don't know. Yeah, peace, love, and harmony forever and ever and ever. Much love. Thank you for watching, and have a nice week. Bye.